Hi, today I just had my first colonoscopy. I recently just turned 45 and I went to my primary care physician and we discussed it and they said that now is the time to get a colonoscopy. In New York State, I'm not sure if it's everywhere, but your insurance covers a routine colonoscopy, at least parts of it. I got a call from the surgery center that had told me to call my insurance, and then that way my insurance could explain it to me. Might not be the same in all cases, but my insurance explained that if they had to cut anything out while they were in there, it was going to be like a $350 copay for it. So I had known that in advance, and that was a good thing. So otherwise, it seems like it's going to be no cost. But I can update the video if that is different. So anyhow, I would recommend calling your health insurance before you get the colonoscopy and finding out what their plan is, even if they do say that you can get it at 45, because it's not for sure that your insurance is going to cover it. You want to check with them first. So after that, I called the gastrologist, and I happen to have one that I'm familiar with because I've had endoscopies before. So that was a good thing. I was able to get in there within like a month. And what they did was they sent me some paperwork in the mail, and I'll go over that with you so that you kind of know what to expect. So what it says is it says the date of your procedure, the procedure time, what time you arrive. They were having me arrive 1 hour before the procedure. And just to note, my procedure did not start on time. It was supposed to start at 11:30, and it started at 12:30. So, just be prepared for that. My procedure altogether took from 12:30 till 1, so it was a half hour. So just be prepared for that. But in this letter, it'll tell you to expect 2 to 4 hours for your procedure. They tell me where it's going to be performed at. Then they tell you 2 weeks prior to the procedure if you suffer from constipation or have poor prep in the past. Now, I do have constipation. I take Metamucil every day. So 2 weeks before, I stopped taking Metamucil and I started taking Clearlax. And I'll show all the stuff that I had bought at the end so that you can see it. But I went to BJ's Warehouse. It's what do you call it? Like a upstate New York thing. I'm not really sure where else they have them, but it's a warehouse club, and you can buy in bulk, and that's where I got mine from, only because I have problems, so I might use it in the future just because it did seem to help. So you're going to take that, and it was the directions on the bottle, and for me, that was a capful, and it was mixed into a cup of water, and I just drank it one time in the morning, and it didn't taste like anything, and it was no big deal, and I just went on with my day. It was good. So then after that, you've got 7 days prior to the colonoscopy. Purchase the Miralax or Clearlax or whatever generic version, and it's PEG 3350. Then they told me to get 4 Docalax tablets containing 5 milligrams bisacodyl each, 64 ounces of either Pedialyte, Propel, or Powerade. They say most people use 2 32-ounce bottles. And with that, make sure to not get any red, orange, or purple, because I guess that leaves it in your track, and then it makes them hard to distinguish if there's blood. So I opted to go for all clear. So that's what I did. I went with Pedialyte. I went with unflavored clear Pedialyte. Discontinue oral iron 1 week before the procedure. And you got to look at your vitamins and stuff and make sure it doesn't have iron. I'm not sure, but I think the Metamucil might have had iron in it. And I remember I was taking something else that had iron in it, and I was getting like diarrhea, and it was because of all the iron. So just check your medications. It says here to stop taking any weight loss medications, GLP-1, such as but not limited to Ozempic, Wegovy, Zepbound, Contrave, Saxenda 1 week before the procedure. If you're taking a blood thinner, ensure you've been given instructions on when to discontinue it from the physician that prescribes the medication. Hold the blood thinner only under the instruction of the prescribing physician. If you're diabetic, ensure that you've spoken with your prescribing physician about any medication adjustments that may be needed related to the prep process if necessary. Keep in mind you can have clear liquids that contain sugars during the prep. If you have a heart attack or mitral valve replacement in the last 6 months and have not discussed it, they wanted you to call them, you may need cardiac clearance. Okay. 4 days prior to the colonoscopy, avoid any nuts, seeds, salads, oatmeal, raw fruits, and vegetables with skin or seeds. Now this, you're going to kind of want to look things up and just make sure, because it might not say, like, you might think you can eat cooked cauliflower from reading this, but honestly, it's a fiber. So you're wanting to go to more softer foods, and it's going to help you to clear out at the end to make sure you get all that food out. That's why you're doing that. So really make sure, if you're not sure, either ask your doctor or Google it and see if you can eat it before you eat it. It's just for 4 days. It's no big deal. Then the day before your procedure, you may continue all your normal medications except blood thinners, weight loss medications, and diabetic medication adjustments as noted above the day before your procedure. Consume not red, not purple, not orange, clear liquids only for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So all day, it's going to be clear liquids. That includes coffee or tea, no cream or milk. So, 2 things. One day, that 4 days prior to colonoscopy, the stuff you couldn't eat, it was Thanksgiving. So I just made sure not to put any nuts or seeds. We didn't really have any vegetables. Sweet potatoes I was able to eat. Mashed potatoes I was able to eat. Turkey I was able to eat. So there was a lot of foods that you can eat. Eggs, stick with your meats. But I didn't eat like any salami or no processed meats during that time, because I want to make sure that I got it all out. All right, and then this day before, you can have broth, clear juices, apple, white grape, pear, clear sodas, ginger ale, Sprite, 7-Up, plain Jello, lemon ice, sports drinks, Pedialyte, Powerade. Do not consume alcohol. You can also have coconut water, and I did find a white cranberry by Ocean Spray, so that was pretty cool, and it was good. And I was fine. I started to get hungry during the day, just drinking the liquids, drinking coffee, drinking tea, drinking vegetable broth. So I made some mango jello, and that really helped. So I had that for pretty much like lunch and dinner. I had a serving for lunch and a serving for dinner, so probably like half a box of jello. I tried to be mindful, just because it's a lot of sugar if you read everything that you're going to be drinking that day. And being health conscious, you just want to make sure not to have too much sugar. Next time, I will go with the coconut water. I didn't think about it till after. Then it says you can continue and should continue to have clear liquids after starting your prep to stay hydrated up till 4 hours before your procedure. It's important to discuss at this time. It's important to discontinue, at this time, related to risk for aspiration pneumonia. So you want to make sure that you're not drinking anything 2 hours before your procedure so that you don't have aspiration pneumonia. And I think it's something where maybe like the food goes into your lungs, or I think it's liquid goes into your lungs. But I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm no medical kind of person. I'm just somebody going through my first colonoscopy. And if you have any questions, call your doctor. They'll be I'm more than sure they'll be happy to answer your questions. They want us to do our screenings. They want to see us healthy. They want to see us do good. So, all right. Mix your 8.3 ounce Miralax in a pitcher or jug with 64 ounces of sports drink. or your Pedialyte until the Miralax completely dissolves. Chill in refrigerator if desired. So what I did was I had like a huge, clear lax from BJ's, and I believe it was like 26 ounces. So I have a kitchen scale that I use for my sourdough, and with that I weighed out the 8.3 ounces of clear lax that I used. And then what I did was I got like a Kool-Aid pitcher, and I poured the 2 bottles of unflavored Pedialyte into it. It was clear. And then I poured the clear lax into it, and then I stirred it till it was clear, and then I put it in the refrigerator at like noon because I was going to have to start drinking it at 6. So that way I had enough time to get cold, because I don't know, just stuff I heard, it sounds like you don't want to drink it warm. So I know the Miralax isn't bad when it's one cup warm, but I'm not sure how it would be 4 cups warm. So do what you think's best for you. At 5 p.m., the day before your procedure, you're going to take 4 Dulcolax tablets, if that's what's told to you. I did. 6 p.m., I began drinking the Miralax solution. Drink 1 glass every 10 to 15 minutes until half the jug is gone. So I just drank, 8 ounces at a time. So I knew after 4, half would be gone. It's better to drink quickly than to savor it. Using a straw may help. I just chugged it. Day before your procedure. 4 hours before your procedure time. So you'll probably want to set your alarm to wake up, even though you are going to be up all night going to the bathroom constantly. You're just going to, I was probably 6 times up, I'd say, in the middle of the night. And I did have to take a shower one time, so I did have like a leak. So it's gross, disgusting, but it happens, and I just changed my clothes and got in the shower and went back to bed. So no big deal. It's just one time. So what you're going to do after that, it says you may take any blood pressure, cardiac, or seizure medications the morning of your procedure, except medications previously discussed. Blood thinners, weight loss, diabetes, and also hold ACE inhibitors, lisinopril, ramipril, enalapril, and ARBs. Irbsartan, losartan, valsartan. And then also when you start drinking that solution 4 hours before your time, it's 1 glass every 10 to 15 minutes until it's gone. It's going to be the same thing. You're going to, well, I don't know if I said that, but let's say it. The day before your procedure, 4 hours before, you take 2 simethicone tablets and complete the other half of the laxative solution. 1 glass every 10 to 15 minutes. So the same thing, just do 8 ounces at a time till it's gone. I had like 36 ounces, I think, altogether with the 2 bottles. So it wound up taking me like 4 glasses the first time and 5 the second time. Then it says, please be prepared to stay between 2 and 4 hours for your procedure. You will be given medication for this exam and cannot drive or operate machinery for 24 hours following the procedure. You must bring an adult with you to drive you home, and you may not drive yourself. And they do tell you if you do not have a driver, they will not do the procedure on you, and they're not going to send you home with the Uber driver. You have to have somebody with you that can help you and take care of you. So, for them, it said to make sure when you get there that your driver, if they're going to leave, that they wait 10 to 15 minutes after dropping you off so that they make sure you're at the right place. So, that would be a good idea. A little scary. And then it says if you arrive via Lyft or Uber or other public transportation, you must bring a responsible adult that is a friend or family member. Your procedure will be canceled if a friend or relative is not there to escort you home. And do not bring any valuables. Do not schedule a colonoscopy immediately before vacation. There is a small chance you can bleed significantly if polyps are removed. Perforation is another rare risk. And then they just give you some helpful price references. It says Amazon price for Amazon Clearlax, $8. Major brand Biscoital, 5 milligrams, $5. Health simethicone, $5. Walmart Peg solution, $9. Dulclex or Equate brand, $6. Equate brand simethicone, $1.50. It says Dollar General Clearlax, $9. Rexall Biscoital, $3. And Gas-X, $4. That thing with your valuables, you do need to still bring your insurance cards. You may still need to bring a form of payment. You never know. You may need your phone. So I don't know. I just had them in my coat, and they give you a bag to put all your stuff in, and I put all my stuff in it, and they put it underneath the gurney underneath. So that was never a problem. So that was the whole thing with that. I had to have my ID. They tell you to wear comfortable, loose clothing. I had paperwork to fill out that had medical history, what kind of prescriptions you're taking. That they had pre-mailed me, but just know that if they didn't, you'll be having to fill that out there before your thing, so bring a list of your prescriptions. And it just says that when they call your driver to make sure that they answer spam or restricted. So that's a good idea. It says if you are unable to meet your financial obligation, call the business office prior to canceling. So maybe they can help you out. And then it says if you're canceling for any other reason, to call your doctor. And then it gives you kind of all the different co-pays that you can expect if you do get charged them. And it says you can be charged for like anesthesiology, hospital transfers if needed, pathology when they send your biopsy, radiology and radiologists. I got lucky. Thankfully, they did not find anything, so I had a good colonoscopy. I was clear. I don't have to go back for 10 years. Very, very thankful. Seriously thankful. So I would definitely suggest doing it. Some of the things that I'll tell you about is when you're drinking this stuff, especially if it was in the fridge and it's winter, you're going to get cold. So just, be prepared to be like me. I have hot flashes, so then I'm like hot, then I'm like cold, then I'm like hot, then I'm like cold. So I was like blowing myself with a blow dryer to try to heat up a little bit. Trying to think. The bathroom, it seems like yesterday, well, initially when I first drank that solution starting at 5 at night, it took me till like 8 to be able to use the bathroom for it to start coming out. So it might not be right away. It might, you never know. I just wouldn't plan on doing anything just in case. And it did seem when I started drinking some water and some coffee, then things started going. And then after that, it seemed anything I put in just came out. And then, like I said, unfortunately, like 3 in the morning, I had sort of an accident. So I got changed, took a shower. At that time, my poop was still brown and, just like liquid, completely liquid the whole time. And then when I woke up this morning at 7:30, then my poop had turned to yellow. So then by the time I had left at 10:30, my poop had turned to white. So it was just white, not white, not white, clear. So it went from being like brown poop to yellow poop to literally just clear like water poop. And then by then I must have been cleaned out because pretty much they were looking for you to at least be like a yellow. Then the other thing is when I was there, probably because I'm not of menopause age, they have to do a pregnancy test. So they did a pregnancy test. Of course, it came back negative. I asked her just for jokes if it ever came back positive, and she said, yeah, one time ever out of her career. She was an older lady. Somebody really was pregnant, and they had done 5 pregnancy tests for that person. So kind of cool, but, just to know it could happen. You could find another surprise when you're there. The people were really accommodating. They were really nice. Just ask for help or questions, anything you have, and they're more than willing to help you. They gave me a thing of cranberry juice and a package of cookies after. And then when I came home, my boyfriend made me, Lou, made me some eggs and potatoes and toast. So that was really nice with some turkey. So that was my breakfast. And I had a glass of cranberry juice and some coconut water. And they just told me to take it easy for the day. There's no, I can't do it anyways, but there's no, going outside and like shoveling. There's no cooking. There's no cleaning. There's no, doing any of that. You're just supposed to take it easy for the day, because you had anesthesia, so you could fall. They even said don't order on Amazon. The lady told me some lady ordered like $1,000 on Amazon, so I would just, maybe zone out and watch TV for the day and relax. Um, yeah, it went really good and I'd recommend it. And in a minute, I'll get everything together on the table and just show you guys what it is that I got together so that you know and you can see it. And I hope that your procedure goes well and that you book it. Just do it. If you're 45 and it's covered under your health insurance, I don't know why you're not doing it. Just go do it. Right, guys, this is the stuff that I used for my colonoscopy prep the day before my colonoscopy and the day of, and actually 2 weeks before. So 2 weeks before, I started on Clearlax, and it was 1 capful every day for the 2 weeks. The only day I didn't take it was the day before my colonoscopy and the day of my colonoscopy. So, it depends on what your doctor tells you, but this is what I got. This was more than enough to last through all of that, and I still have more if I need it. So, just letting you know. Then, the day before my colonoscopy, actually, I did have to use this. This is what I had to mix with these, and they had told me how much. So I had bought this children's electrolyte solution. It was unflavored and it was clear. So what it is it's Pedialyte, and I just made sure that I got clear so I didn't have to worry for my colonoscopy. I mixed those two. Then, to stay hydrated, I had got this Gatorade Lightning Blast, which was clear. I also bought this Gatorade Zero, but I didn't use it. I didn't realize it had artificial sugar, so I'll try it, but I don't really like artificial sugar. Coconut water was great to stay hydrated anytime before prep, during prep, the day before the colonoscopy, and the day of my colonoscopy. After my colonoscopy, I drank coconut water. Then the vegetable broth I drank during prep. I bought two containers just in case I needed more, and I also had chicken, but I didn't need it. The only thing that I'll suggest on this is to make sure you get a clear broth. I would not get this one again, only because it wasn't clear. I had to strain it and it was really hard. I mean, I did it and it'll work. You can do it. I did it with a coffee strainer, but they actually make a clear broth. I would just buy their clear broth or their bone broth if it's clear, so you don't have to worry about that. So I would change that next time. Then I also got mango jello, 2 boxes, and I had made that. So that's what I had for lunch and dinner the day of the colonoscopy prep, the day before. I had bought 2 Island pineapple jellos, and that was just in case, but I didn't need them. It's, however you feel that day. I was all right just drinking liquids. Then I had gotten these gentle laxatives compared to Dulcolax for the prep that they had said. And we had gotten this extra strength gas relief, simethicone anti-gas, and this is what they had said. So just to give you an idea of the stuff that you should buy to get ready for your colonoscopy. I just wanted to give you an idea of some other stuff they had given me. So when I had got to the doctor's office, I had a complete medical health history, and it was different stuff about whether you had entered menopause, because they had you do a pregnancy test to make sure you weren't pregnant. It was about what kind of GI disorders you have so that they can look whether you have Crohn's, diverticulitis, constipation. You could have irregular bowel movements. Some of the stuff you wouldn't know if you had or not if you've never had one before, possibly. So, you just check off what you know. It was stuff about your heart and stuff like that, neurological things. Um, then it was stuff like your medications, what kind of medications that you take. So, if they don't send you information in the mail, I would definitely bring your list with you just so you have it and your allergy list. And then when I was there, they gave me stuff, and it was stuff like statement regarding do not resuscitate orders and advance directives. And pretty much it said that you need to give them any do not resuscitate or advance directives ahead of time. That way, if something was to happen, they know what to do for you. Because they try to perform life-saving procedures in the event something happens. So it's just something to think about. And if you have it, just bring it that day, and they'll scan it into their system and give it back to you. Let's see. I'm not sure why. Some of it was whether or not your physician has ownership in the facility. So I don't know what that really has to do with. But then they also gave me like a patient's rights. You know what your rights are. And then I got instructions after. And what it was to resume your regular diet or the diet recommended by your physician. Do not drive, consume alcoholic beverages, operate machinery, or make critical decisions or do activities that require coordination or balance until tomorrow morning. It says because air was put into your colon during the procedure, expelling large amounts of air from your rectum is normal. You may not have a bowel movement for 1 to 3 days because of the colonoscopy prep. Pretty much, you flushed your whole system out. This is normal. And then it says call your GI physician or go directly to the emergency room if you notice chills or fever, persistent vomiting, severe abdominal pain other than gas cramps, severe chest pain, black tarry stools, shoulder pain. Resume all medications except those specified below. And then it just tells you how long to come back for your colonoscopy and that you're being discharged. So that's good information to have. And the lady did actually mention not to go on Amazon. I guess people have been known to go on Amazon and order ridiculous amounts of things after being under sedation for some reason. I don't know why, but I guess that's a thing. So just keep that in mind. Don't be trying to make any decisions that day. Just watch TV, relax, eat, and be comfortable. And have a good colonoscopy prep and a good colonoscopy day.